Does anybody else just feel like lighting a cigarette, walking into the ocean and never returning? I'm just asking for a friend, really. Ah yes, 2020, the perfect time to promote a book, because 2020 is absolutely a year of economic prosperity and togetherness, harmony, fruitfulness, and health. As a disclaimer, I know that the world and its people are currently going through it. I'm aware that we're all in a bit of a tough time right now, and I did hesitate whether to make this video because I didn't want it to come across as me being selfish or unaware during this time. But actually, one of the things that has kept me going through this time and this year is reading. Well, also cat pictures and crying, occasionally a shot of whiskey. Anyway, I've just been reading so much all throughout this year, mainly because life is a prison now, so I wanted to contribute to people's general escapism. So the book is called Birdcage, and as you can see, it is very beautifully illustrated. The front cover is by Laurie Saar, and she's done a fantastic job of my vintage lesbian book cover. It's very beautiful. The book is a lesbian fictional novel which is composed of romantic correspondence in the form of love letters between two women. It's very high romance, and also, just as a content warning, the book contains somewhat sexual content. I'd say the book is partially erotic as well. It's definitely threaded in there. Whilst the book is a romance, it's not completely light and fluffy. I don't really do light and fluffy, as you guys know. The book explores deeper and darker aspects of their relationship. And whilst the book is completely fictional, it obviously is very heavily influenced by my own experiences, desires, and feelings. Now, the book isn't set in a particular time period. However, the language used in the book is very reminiscent of the early to mid 20th century. This is simply because I love a lot of the vernacular, the language, the words, the phrasing from that period. I find the way people spoke back in that time period was quite romantic. It wasn't socio-politically romantic, but the wording I find to be very romantic. The book is very much inspired by romance, and I think love letters are not the pinnacle of romance, but I just think there's just something so inherently personal about receiving a love letter. The reason I haven't actually committed to setting this book in a particular time period is because for gay people, going back to yesterday isn't really preferable. Whilst I love, again, the wording, the aesthetic of the early to mid 20th century, for gay people the reality wasn't so beautiful. Let's just say that. Not that an oppressive system has ever stopped lesbians having romantic relationships or even to an extent getting married, but you know what I'm trying to say. And an important thing about this book is it's something I would absolutely love to read. When I'm reading a lot of lesbian fiction, I always find that I'm hungry for something a little bit more, and the only thing I've read that kind of comes close to this book are the love letters between Vita Sackville-West and Violet Trefusis. And on that note, I'd just like to say, whilst the book takes a partial inspiration from their romance, the book is not related to those two women in any way, shape or form, and it's not related to their story in any way, shape or form. There's a hint of them in the book in the sense that the book uses similar language to the time period that the Vita Violet romance took place in, but I can promise you their romance and correspondence wasn't a direct reason for this book being made. It was just part of, I don't want to say the atmosphere, sounds really wanky, but that is what it was. So there will be samples of the book on my Instagram and on my Tumblr, so you can obviously go and read samples for yourself and decide if it's something you might be interested in getting. Another thing I'd like to add is the book is going to be available in paperback, but also in an ebook format. Now, I didn't do that for my last book, but I'm doing it for this book for two reasons. Obviously, it is 2020, reading is a luxury, not everybody can afford to buy a book during this time, and I wanted to have a cheaper option available for people. The second reason is not everybody lives in an environment that's safe for them to read a book which is quite overtly lesbian. The cover is not very subtle, and obviously some people live in in homophobic environments. So if you can download an ebook to your phone and you can read it in private, that's a lot safer. Now, like my last book, the first 9 people to purchase a paperback copy of the book will receive a handwritten letter from me. What happens is you purchase the book for pre-order, I will email you, I will get to know a little bit about you, and then I will write you a letter. If you are one of the 9 people who will be receiving a letter from me, it will arrive with your book in the mail. The book is available for pre-order. The release date of the book will be anywhere between November the 1st to November the 9th. So if you pre-order a copy in the next couple of weeks, it will arrive in between those 2 dates. The book is available on Store Envy, and I will leave the links in the description. So before I go, I'm going to read you an extract from the book. It's not a particularly spicy one because I'm on thin ice with YouTube and I'm not trying to push my luck. My darling Miss Gladstone, let's not talk of death. Instead, let us talk of your lips. Oh, your lips. I miss them terribly. Whenever I think there is nothing that rouses me from my apathy, there they are to remind me that something most certainly does. There's not a part of my body your tender lips haven't impressed upon. My skin is a map of their travels. I think of those lips every night. What I wouldn't give to feel them against me. It makes me want to beg you to throw everything over and come home early. I already can't stand these days apart. I loathe everything except you. Is that so? Regarding the eye being drawn to that which interests it. Some find that kind of watchful consistency unnerving. Even myself at times. The way your eyes follow me often makes me feel as though you'd like to keep me inside a cage for your own selfish viewing pleasure. And, if I suffered, all the better. I am suffering now without you. All yours, Robin. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.